About Winter Storm Olympia and how much snow it's been putting down. As I said earlier, 25 million people under some type of alert.
That's right, and we're still keeping an eye on. And thank you so much. That was Mike Seidel reporting live from Buffalo. So let's take a look at what areas are going to expect for the remainder of this storm in terms of how much more they expect to get. Notice cities like Buffalo, maybe even like East Cleveland, Erie, Pennsylvania, down to Pittsburgh. We're talking about 1 to 3 inches. Then you go to places kind of in an upper state, New York may have about 5 to 8 inches, but we will still have some areas that pick up about 8 to 12 inches. Again, ice is still going to be a concern with this particular storm as well. The darker shade of pink, almost like the purple color, is going to be less than 1/10 of an inch. And just as we told you yesterday, 1/10 of an inch can still create a thick enough glaze on the roads to cause slick driving problems and also stick to your car too. But some areas, including just west of Augusta, around Albany and Syracuse, we could see as much as 1/4 of an inch again, and that causes other problems of its own, especially if it starts to weigh down some tree limbs. Here's a look at the radar. Let's put this into motion. Notice on the eastern section of this, it's all rain. Where the cold air is on the backside of it, that's where we're seeing the snow, the freezing rain, the sleet that's going to go with it. But as we go through the afternoon, it begins to shift off to the north, and more of the rain begins to make its way a little bit closer to Interstate 81 in upstate New York. Then we begin to go up towards Burlington. Again, you're going back and forth between some winter precipitation, then to rain, and then maybe a little bit more snow on the back edge once it finally wraps back around as we go into the evening hours tonight. And we still will see some isolated light snow showers later this evening, but for the most part, most of the system should wrap up before then. Here's another look at Pittsburgh. Again, we have some snow showers expected into the morning, but once we get into the afternoon, things finally start to dry back out a little bit. And then, Jen, we can finally begin to make the transition into maybe spring, perhaps?
Yeah, these in a lot of areas, but we will see those temperatures climbing into the 50s today, and that's nearly a 50-degree difference just from Monday morning. And joining us on the phone.
Good morning. It is just 1/2 the hour. I'm meteorologist Allison Chinchar.
And I'm meteorologist Jennifer Delgado. Of course, we are tracking Winter Storm Olympia, and it's bearing down across parts of New York this morning.
That's right. And one of the hardest hit areas, Buffalo, where they've seen more than 3 inches of snow just in the last couple of hours. That's, of course, where we find our own Mike Seidel. Good morning to you, Mike. How are the conditions looking now compared to just a couple hours? Going to get better from here, especially in terms of the temperatures. Let's take a look. So as we start off the week, we clearly still have a lot of the cold air across the Midwest and the Northeast. That warm air, which has been stuck in the West Coast for several weeks now, bringing record high temperatures, that's going to begin to shift as we go over the next couple of days. Notice it starts to move over the south central portion of the country. The jet stream also, instead of having those deep ridges and troughs, is going to become almost zonal in a sense, where you really don't have the extremes on either side. Really, the entire southern half of the country will be dealing with temperatures that are 15, 20, even sometimes more than 20 degrees above normal. The cold air staying well up into Canada. We're talking, look again, highs 10 to 30 degrees above average. Most of that intense heat is going to be located in the central portion of the country, but even still, Phoenix, Bismarck, Chicago, even Atlanta are still going to be dealing with temperatures well above normal. Here's a look at some of the records. Amarillo, Texas, we're forecasting 87. Their old record is 80. We're talking about blowing this record out by 7 degrees. Lubbock, Texas, 87 to 83. El Paso also going to be very close to their record. And it's not just in Texas. We're talking Rapid City, South Dakota, could be about 2 degrees off from their record. Topeka, Kansas, again, same thing, about a 2-degree spread. But you know what, Jen, even if they don't actually break the records, I think they'll just be happy to finally not be below freezing.
And people walking around still looking at some snow on the ground. We'll let you know when the snow is actually going to be moving out.